morning. Good morning. Good morning. A nice wash of the face. A cup of coffee. And thou. Oh, I forgot one of my card decks. Shoot. Oh, well, nobody's here yet, so. Oh, dear. Is that right? Yes, I think that's right. Hello, Rush. Seems like this could go smaller. Is this smaller? Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry about my cough. I just sat down, just woke up. I sound like my mother. Not as bad as her. Oh my gosh. Hello, Ella. How are you, darling? Do you guys want to? Oh, hello, Jill. Hello, Ocean Star. You guys want to do some coffee talk? Well, I had an interesting remote. You know, where are you guys getting your biggest hits when you meditate? For me, it's the bathroom. Let's just keep it real. Hi, Irish Colleen. You know, where do you get most of your hits as a remote viewer? Discuss that while I get my Lenormand. You know, I got a few Lenormands. Let's play today. Well, is everybody keeping up with all the royal gossip? See, I put Kate and Will in the description so that people wouldn't come in and say, hey, why are you talking about Kate and Will? You know, sometimes I post it or sometimes I put something in that we're going to talk about it. And people will come on and still complain. I don't know what it's about. I just think that they are party poopers. They want to come and rain on our royal parade. Did everybody get a chance to see the royal garden party where everybody pretended like they were having a wonderful time? Yes, everybody was having a wonderful time in their expensive clothing in a foot of rain because they had evidently they don't have the best drainage. Does anybody? Which garden was it? It was the Buckingham Palace, or which palace was it? Anyway, they've got terrible drainage. Evidently, the women came in their finest, and then they wound up in half a foot of mud and water, smiling like they're having the most wonderful time. Prince William, yes. While they're sitting there in half a foot of water, literally a frickin' swamp. Their hair, oh my God, they look so bloody miserable. Nobody even offered them a cup of coffee, tea, anything. And they're just sitting there in their finest, being sucked into a swamp, which is unfortunately William's royal family. And now, you know, this was his latest disaster, was the wretched, wretched, wretched garden party. Anybody see any pictures of it? L'chaim, l'chaim. Evidently, they've had a backup problem for years, and it's been a running joke that the royals. Why can the royals not get their bloody sewage? Well, some of the pipes go back to the time of Victoria. You know, you can imagine the lead. So the water isn't even drinkable. So if you're working in one of those estates, they have to bring in what are those called? Those portable water things. But you've got to ask yourselves, Britain, what do you want to preserve? Do you want to preserve these fortresses with really bad plumbing? Ella, be nice. Okay, so London stinks. London has always smelled, and the British aristocracy stinks. Oh, you guys want to see pictures? Oh, did. Oh, you didn't see. Oh, my lord, my lord. Okay, I'm gonna. You guys don't laugh. You guys can be. I laugh too. You know what makes me laugh about it? Do you know what makes me laugh about the whole thing? Is the fact that people have to pretend like they're having fun. They have to pretend like this is the most wonderful thing in the world to do. They have to pretend that the emperor's new clothing is fantastic. So here is the disastrous. Oh, we've got to watch it together. Stand and I'm going to address the people who are lucky enough to be invited. Oh my lord. Look at this nightmare. Look at this. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, look at him. He looks like he's freezing. Look at their umbrellas. His assistant is the smart one. Look, she's got sensible shoes, but she's going to be in half a foot of water in no time. Oh, you know what? Should I be okay? Get ready now. Be prepared for don't they look like they're having fun? Wouldn't you love to spend thousands of pounds on an outfit so that you can sit in this nightmare? Oh, it's going to get worse. This is the beginning of the rain, but the rain really starts to come down, and evidently ladies were getting stuck in it. Look at this. Don't they look like they're having fun? Oh my God, look how much fun we're having. We're freezing our asses off. We're starting to sink into the ground. Oh, but it's all so fun. We've all got to wear umbrellas. You know what? I'm Jewish. Where's the food? Okay. Where's the food? And what stinks? And when are you gonna, you see, every time there's a royal upkeep, it's about this bloody plumbing problem and the fact that they've got no drainage. And look at these miserable people trying to protect their equipment, which is getting soaked. It's a joke. Look at them. Oh, we're just having so much fun hanging out here without any food or water. Where's okay. I'm a Jew, so I'll go to the front of the line. God's chosen people. Where's the food? I've been here for 5 minutes. Okay, just one. Okay, I'm not going to complain. Just one cup of coffee. Could I get? Look at them. They're still pretending to have fun. Didn't she just bury her husband? I mean, isn't that what's her name? Isn't that what's her name's wife? Excuse me. Sorry about the cough. Oh my God. Was I being rude? Did you guys would you guys wish that you could be there? Do you guys wish that you could? Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Do you guys wish that you could be in that garden party? Yeah. If somebody paid you, would you go? Yeah. What? Sorry, I got this thing. Okay. Let me try another one here. Would you like to go to this party? Who's the it kid? Vampires or I mean, it's entirely up to you guys. See, it's yeah. See, this to me looks like fun. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Turn on the sound, Dr. Whimsy. We can't hear.
Yes, after she recently revealed ancestral links to the country.
But as I look around this room,
She's
I see myself in
43%.
all of you as well.
She was traced back to the Igbo, which is one of the larger of the 4 tribes in Nigeria. They are a they are bilineal, the Igbo. So men and women share equal rights. The money is controlled by the women in the marketplace, the people who handle the money, and the men are the farmers in the Igbo. To find out more about her lineage, a great book to start with about the British occupation is called When Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Not the other one. Let me find the Chinua Achebe one. And Chinua was he was educated as a Brit in the British system under British occupation and colonialism. And he wrote a trilogy about the life of an Igbo boy, starting with the beginning of the occupation by the Brits, when things begin to fall apart for him and his tribe. And the successful generations and how they lose their traditions. But so the women handle the money, and they worship a female deity of the sweet waters, which is associated with fertility, similar to Oshun. But she is called the Lady of the Lake, and the Lady of the Lake is specific to the Igbo people. She's also referred to as Mommy Waters, if you'd like to know more about the religious beliefs of Meghan's tribe. So, Mommy Water is a wonderful book. also written by an Igbo writer. Um, and here's some interesting stuff about Mami Wata. You can see the snake. The snake is also sacred to the Igbo. It's considered mystical. This is an image of Mami Wata. Layla's book is excellent. It's the story of one of the women in the marketplace when things fall apart, her marriage falls apart. She can't have children. She goes to Mama Wata and prays to become pregnant, but she doesn't. And so instead, she becomes a wealthy woman in the marketplace. And she's the deity of women who often become wealthy business people. Sometimes they don't have children. And one of the reasons is that sometimes they're LGBTQ, a lot of lesbian women who marry wives, which is recognized in Igbo tradition. They worship Mami Wata because it's for independent women. But some happily married women also follow this tradition. So that is Mami Wata of the Igbo. So the Igbo rebellion was women. I bet they're going to look just like Meghan. They rose up against the British in 1929, but I think it started before then. Wow, where's the pictures? We had some great pictures before. Let me see if I can find some. Yeah, so they took no crap. And then we call it gender colonizing because they did not have any concept of being inferior to men. That was something that was imposed upon them by the British colonization. Look at these warriors. These are warriors. These are female warriors wearing their garments. They were going to war. They were ready they went to fight. They declared war, and the men didn't know what to do. The British, it was in opposition to being taxed in the markets, which they ran. The men had nothing to do with it. So the women declared war on the British, and the British didn't know what to do about it. And I believe some people may have been killed. I mean, they came with spears. They were trained, they were organized, and they were coming to kill people. You don't come into our home. You don't start taking our money. You don't start threatening our families. We're Igbo women. And I think the British had to back down. I think that many of their demands, this is one of the kings. They have a long history of maybe 8,000 years old. The British recognize them. This seems to be like a gift when the British recognized the dynasties. They tried to work with them, but I think this is the women. Yeah. They're not there to play around. They're not there this is the actual uprising. They were going to kill some people. So, yeah, I mean, if you grow up where ladies are supposed to be polite, little ladies, you probably don't know how to deal with this type of culture, view of life. So it's an interesting thing that we can talk about, right? We can talk about this idea of when cultures collide. And is that, oh, hi, hon. Hi, Equus. And what do you guys think? Did cultures collide? Is that what we're looking at? Colliding cultures? Arguing cultures? Not seeing eye to eye about certain things? Right? Oh, Australia, you're up early. Yeah, I'm going to do a private get together at noon. I've been working on my schooling, so I haven't been doing that many videos. Anyway, so the first remote that we're going to be talking about, we'll go ahead first. We'll do the empath prayer. And then we're going to talk about the future of Iran. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. So let's talk. Hello, Florida. We saw a lot of grieving in Iran over the last week with the death of Abraham Raisi. All right. And a lot of people are looking at the possibility that there was something wrong. For example, they're now looking at the fact that the tail may have been on fire, that maybe they put a box to light it on fire. The weather was clear. There was a slight bit. Also, the pilot said they weren't feeling well, et cetera, et cetera. It was an older helicopter. So what we're seeing in Iran with the funerals was a tremendous outpouring of grief. And so I don't know if you all saw the funeral. I yeah, I thought it was very beautiful. The my response was totally different. Like, oh my God! It's like, yeah, isn't it beautiful? I love Sufi prayers so much. Like have you guys ever hear Sufi prayers? I love those Sufi prayers. But here's some image of that funeral to give you an idea of the size of this thing.
یعنی یک پهنا و درازای خیابان انقلاب، خیابان آزادی تا میدان آزادی مردم میخکوب شده بودن، اصلا حرکت نمیشد کرد. جمعی
So we've just had a pretty
میلیون از مسائل که یعنی یک
در جوار سامن الحجج آرامی
موسوی هم تا مشهد
You guys can hear it. Just beautiful. It sounds almost like Buddhist chants. It's very flowery poetry if you've ever studied Rumi or Hafiz. It's almost like opera. And some of the poems are, if you look at Hafiz, so I was listening to the prayers and the mantras and the whole Sufi energy, and I was really enjoying it, forgetting that this guy was the butcher of Tehran. The prayers, it's not the fault of the prayers that he's the butcher of Tehran. Yeah, everybody who works in the prisons, everybody who works as bureaucrats was given a day off. All the bureaucrats, everybody that works for the government. So the energy as a remote viewer, when we scan the grid, which is to put ourselves in the abiding state, to check in on ourselves, and to stand back and with our objective part of our brain, look at the situation objectively and look at the crowds and observe what's happening in my body as these people take in this grief as the body is being carried from one place to another. Okay? So what I'm feeling is something similar to how I felt when Princess Diana died, right? So it's this amazing sense of grief, right? So nobody wants to feel bad or to feel grief. These are terrible feelings in our bodies. We'd all agree to that, right? Just like guilt and shame, we don't want to feel that. So if somebody makes us feel guilty, we avoid them, right? Because human beings avoid sensations that are unpleasant. So this grieving and the collective grieving in Iran because of sanctions and all of the suffering that Iran has gone in for years and years and years, gone on for years and years and years, is coming to the surface. And it's all being interwoven into the grief we see with Racy's funeral. So what's happening? Everybody is in grief, and the grief is getting worse and worse and worse. So this is the bubbling point we talk about. This is why we say we're looking at some serious riots happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks, crackdowns, etc. Why? Because when you feel that bad for 2 or 3 weeks, you want to blame somebody. This is the nature of grief. Anger, right? It's one of the stages of grief. And so when you find out that something terrible has happened and everyone's upset because of sanctions and the fact that his helicopter was bad, or let's blame the Israelis because they see their fate with the Palestinian cause, right? So when you put that together with those people who hate the government, which are a large percentage of the people hate the government, more in Tehran you'll see a large animosity towards the government. You see people angry that are blaming the Butcher of Tehran for everything that's happened. So the inevitable consequences of all the grief we're seeing in Iran is that people will start to get increasingly angry, and it will get hotter and hotter in Iran. People will become increasingly uncomfortable in their bodies. They'll become increasingly angry about what's going on, and they will look for someone to blame. And at that point, you have civil war. Iranians are Shia, and the Sufis came out of that part of the world, which was kind of an interesting merging of, if you look at Rumi and Hafiz, Persian Sufi writers are very popular in the 9th, 10th century. It was part of Asia. And the mantras that were coming out of Asia, like India, Om Purva Swaha Tat Savitur Vareyaman, like these ancient Hindi chants, and you listen to these chants, you see an overlap, and that's because as it's just the Silk Road. So you're hearing the same Om Bhurvuva Swaha Tat Savitur Vareya. It's just now it's in Farsi, and but these are ancient chants that go all the way back to India. See? It's Sufi. See the beating of the chest? It's grief. To beat the chest. Beautiful. So all of this emotion is going to need an outlet in these young people. They want to blame someone now. So some will blame Israel and some will blame the current regime. And they'll all meet somewhere in the middle in Tehran looking for girlfriends, right? So the heat and the passion and the revolution and the sexy girls, and we'll see in another 10 months, we're going to see the birth rate increase in Iran as all the revolutionaries fall in love. This is the war. It goes back. It talks about this in the Bible, in the Tanakh. And Benjamin wouldn't be let into the tribe, and then they had a wine festival, and they came down to the wine festival, and yeah, everybody had a debate, right, about whether or not they were going to have civil war with those crazy Benjamins, right? And the next thing you know, they were part of the party, right? The next thing, they had a new government. Gays for Palestine. Yeah, that is funny. So let's look at some cards for Iran. Cross I must bear. So in a way, the cross you must bear is also a reference that one's own internal belief systems are the source, are the problem. Your problems are being created by your own internal belief systems. So that is the cross. You're carrying the thing. If you would just get rid of the cross, your belief systems, then you might not be suffering so much. There's a genuine concern about future generations in Iran. A genuine concern that children are growing up in a tremendous amount of psychological stress, etc. The legacy, commerce, the issue of commerce, will the trade be open up? This is a trade route card. What can people do? There's a revolution. Here's the Tower. So your beliefs are creating your problem, the future generation, the issue of trade, Tower coming. It's inevitable. And do I think that the CIA is engineering this? In a way, you could say that the CIA is engineering it, in the sense that the CIA supports the efforts of those people who are fighting to oust al-Khamenei, who is not long for this world. He's 85 years old, and had he died, he could have died at any moment. Raisi, the butcher of Tehran, would have been in charge. So they're going to be taken out by sanctions, and it's horrible because Iranian leadership destroyed this country. You can see here the snake twisting around them. The lady is Iran. Twisting around them, twisting around them. You know what's weird? It's like they were loyal to Russia, and Russia went down, and now they're both in prison together. The bear is Russia. Look at that. So Russia, China, and it was a very slow process to dismantle these economies. The next thing people wanted to talk about had to do with China. China is extremely upset about Taiwan. There's a couple of things that happened. Hello, Shylock. I just saw Shylock over there. Guys, hear Shylock? Could you hear him? Oh, Mila's asleep. That's why. Come out here and fight. That's Shylock for you. Shylock is fearless as long as there's a thick glass between him and Mila. That's our resident crow that we feed. So, yeah, the situation with China and Taiwan, as many of you know, they are now amassing troops they are amassing a huge buildup around Taiwan. Do people feel that this is posturing, or do you think that there's some truth to this? Well, they're launching military drills. So the question is whether or not the military drills have any significance. It's just a military drill. And what do these military drills say? What is China saying with the military drills? You know, are they saying that they're going to invade Taiwan, or are they just doing a military drill? I don't think they've got enough money to do a military drill, to be quite honest with you. I mean, to do anything more than a military drill. I think that when you put yourself in the shoes of Xi, there is something about shaming someone. You don't publicly shame. You have to save face and not embarrass people. And when Nancy Pelosi gave the finger to Xi and said, "We're taking our business to Taiwan," that might have felt good at the moment for her, but when you're talking about saving face in Chinese culture, it was very, very inappropriate. And he saw it as a declaration of war from Shay's perspective. From our perspective, from the Western perspective, people were hiring China to produce things, and then they were stealing the patents, and then they were doing cheap knockoffs, and it was bankrupting American companies. So they just pulled their US companies, and anything that had a contract with the feds, they packed up and moved it to Taiwan because of this not only theft, that they were stealing patents and reproducing cheap knockoffs, but the fact that that the money that was being earned from the sales was going to strengthen a government that, let's face facts, the U.S. has some issues with China. So there were a lot of reasons why the U.S. decided to pull out of China. Will we ever go back to China? It was a nice dream to be able to have this relationship with China, but if the money is going towards, if we're only helping to strengthen a nation that has an adversarial view of us or wants to harm us economically, dismantle us, then we really have no choice but to terminate our economic, to terminate some of the relationships we've had with China. So that includes real estate, pork sales, and productions of certain things. Yeah, so let's take a look at if China's going to do anything. Well, I think it was not appropriate what Nancy did. I don't think that she should have done what she did. I agree we needed to pull out. I just don't think when you're dealing with that type of situation, that kind of delicate situation, you have to be like Biden. Like when Shay called yelling because the U.S. was pulling out its business and started threatening, Biden said, "I understand how you feel. My hands are tied. I've got a Congress. I've got a this. I've got a that. Nancy, the executive branch, but legislation, she holds the legislative. It's not up to me." He's being judicious. I don't want a confrontation with you, Let's talk about it. Meanwhile, so he's very good, Biden, at diverting these things. But let's take a look. Yeah, Taiwan, Okinawa. They need more American men. That's what the women of Taiwan need, more American men. If you're looking for love, move to Okinawa. A lot of Americans living there. Okay. Well, they got a letter. It appears that there was a letter or some kind of communication from China where they are basically saying that they saw it as a declaration of war. They saw the U.S. response as a declaration of war. A letter that was received from our adversaries. So it wasn't, our actions were interpreted by China as adversarial, as an act of war. Mm-hmm. He views the U.S. as children that are always after the prize, and they never think about the history or the global consequences, which is kind of a projection because China kind of produced all this junk and now everything is falling apart and they can't really blame anybody else for that. But like a child. Looking at the map. So, I don't know, folks. I think it's probably going to have to go into mediation. It probably will go into mediation. But economically, China has, instead of, China is going to have to loosen up or they're going to lose everything. Look at that. A bridge is coming. And they're going to have to start pulling back resources to certain areas and cutting back on building infrastructure in certain areas. Yeah, that's not surprising. It was always about this. It was always about trade. It was always, by the way, their revenge is opium. It's killing Americans with opium. If you don't buy our products, if you don't cooperate with us, we're going to continue to kill Americans between the ages of 18 and 42 with fentanyl. Isn't that the age? It's the leading cause of death of people in that age group is fentanyl. So that's kind of what it looks like when you go into the energy as a reader. It looks like China is infuriated, and that's one of the reasons why it doesn't even care about making a profit. Like fentanyl is practically free, 50 cents for a hit, because there's so much of it on the market. Yeah. I want to go. Taiwan is nice. Well, I just want to go for the food. How much is a ticket these days to Taiwan? Let's check, folks. You girls want to go? Guys, we'll bring guys too. I like Expedia. Let's see. If we go from Portland, I live in Portland, and we go to Taiwan. I think we can get a direct flight to Taipei. When do you guys want to go? You guys want to go in the fall? Oh, wait, isn't Taipei humid? We're trying to get away from the humidity. Oh, so dry season would be what, October? Okay, so cheapest time to fly is what, on a Monday or a Tuesday? Oh, wait a minute, a Tuesday. Okay, we'll do a Tuesday flight. Okay, let's see, girlfriends and boyfriends. You guys got me interested now. It's somewhere I've never been. I want to go back to Seoul, to South Korea. I'm just totally food oriented. I just want to go and eat kimchi, just wander the streets of Seoul looking for random places to eat questionable kimchi, right? It looks like if you probably, I would think, you can get it direct from San Francisco. So you probably have one stop to San Francisco, and from San Francisco to, yeah. Let's see about the shortest amount of time. I always look at like getting there as soon as possible for the least amount of money. This is where okay, $1,100. Okay, here's one for 17 hours. Seattle, there's a direct from Seattle and a direct from San Francisco. I thought that. The San Francisco one has a 2-hour layover. The Seattle one has a 3-hour, 20-minute. Oh, good God, what a pain in the ass. What do you guys think? When you're going someplace that's really hard to get to, it can't be for a week because you just spend too much time traveling. You know what I mean? Did I show you guys that? Was I looking at that stuff and not showing it to you guys? All right. See, that was it right there. These are our prices. All right. We're looking at about 1,100 buckaroos. What's a good airline? Al Nippon? Nippon? Eva? This one, Asiana, is really good. I flew that airlines and it was good service. Korean Air is supposed to be really good too. Not like us rude Americans where we just throw food at you. And I don't know. You guys ever flown El Al? El Al, Israeli Airlines. It's like a big kibbutz in the sky. I've flown multiple times and I didn't realize until this last time I flew that all the action is in the back. I would just sit there needing water and thinking, wow, I really wish I had, when are they going to come around with some water? And I thought, no, that's not how it's done in El Al. There's a nosh section. There's like they set it up in the back and it's like little children growing up on a kibbutz. They're all back there, hitting the cookies, hitting the muffins, hitting the sandwiches, hitting the this, that, and the other. I mean, they got it all back there. I'm like, is this where everybody hangs out? And I go back there, someone hands me a cup of coffee, someone hands me a chocolate muffin. Another person's got a tuna sandwich. I'm thinking, so this is where this is how to fly El Al. You don't sit in your chair, you go in the back. You start looking around. They start pulling those snaps. They just set them out. They got a flight person that just keeps putting stuff out. It's not like this rinky-dinky little biscuit or something. No, they're shoving nosh in your mouth. And it just felt to me like B'nai B'rith camp from childhood or being on kibbutz. You want a banana? Take a banana back to your seat. You want some yogurt? They've got boiled eggs. You want a boiled egg? It's like, what kind of plane is this? This is really strange. What do you want? They got everything. What do you want? But you want a little container of hummus? Oh, I think they're out of the hummus with pretzels. It's very good. Who was the best flight ever? Like of all the airlines, give us the lowdown. ANA, yes, that one was good. Asian is good. I hear Singapore is the best. Let me take a sip of my coffee. So delicious. Did you guys hear about what was going on? Did you guys hear about this? Did you hear about the cloud seeding in United Arab Emirates? Did you guys hear about this? Crazy, 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 crazy. Just insane. I mean, well, what they're doing is they have this technology where they spray the clouds with these chemicals and it induces rain. But it induced so much rain that it hasn't stopped raining for like over a month. This is from a month ago. But I'm curious about Dubai. I'd like to visit Dubai. Oh, you like chanting on, yeah. I like Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om. Do and I like Snotnam Car, and I like Irish love songs too. Irish music can be like a mantra. So laro. So it has a kind of melodic mantra to it. Oh, all your what's DL student? What's a DL? I don't know what a DL is. Yeah. Saudi Arabian's Airlines is the best, really? No, Iceland was terrible, Kay. They don't feed you. Iceland Air, there's no food. It's a 5.5 hour flight from New York, and they Iceland Air, and maybe they give you a cup of coffee and pretzels, and if you want to eat, you have to pay for it. Yeah. So, what are you thinking about the trial? Has it been a trial? Oh, well, they've changed, Kay. That might have been a while ago because things have changed, and now it's considered like a discount. Lufthansa was good. Yeah, I liked Lufthansa, and Air France was good. I've gotten food poisoning on British Air. Don't eat the eggs. Don't eat the Western omelet on British Air flying from United States to Britain. Do not eat the Western omelet. They're still serving the Western omelet when you fly into London. When they give you a breakfast choice, yes, it's a Western omelet and sausage, and you'll be throwing it up your first day in London. It's welcome to London. Yes. Good excuse, or you can get like the vegetarian. They have like, I think after that one experience, they give you another option, which is like something else, like yogurt and toast or something. I don't know. Oh, you were there for 20 hours, then that would explain it. Yeah. Oh, Mani Padme Hum. Yeah, there's some good mantras with that. Oh, the medal. That's interesting. Hamas hostages. Well, a lot of them were killed on October 7th, and they're just now retrieving the bodies. It's really psychopathic, isn't it? That these people the UN feels sorry for the kidnappers. This is the world we live in. But it's all a game. None of it's real. Oasis is going to happen. Oasis 1 is a done deal. You don't say no to the people that are behind the rebuild. It's all games. It's all BS. It's too late. They've already put the floating pier up. Have you guys seen the floating pier? Have you guys seen the beginnings of Oasis 1? It's, people are supposed to say, we will not rebuild. We will not do. Oh, give me a break. You're already doing it. It's already so far along. That there's no, well, it's like when Biden says, I will not release this bomb to you to go into Rafah. And then the Republicans say, oh my God, he's putting us at risk. He's putting Israel at risk. What's the truth? The truth is that Israel was never going to use that bomb anyway, because that's not the type of bomb they use. But he's got to make some kind of a statement. So,
of what we're doing here in Israel, what is happening in this region in the Middle East, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, TBN Israel.
Yes. We've sort of lay the ground for what's going on. We've been at war in the Gaza Strip since the October 7th events, where.
Okay, so let me show you.
Those are the official ones. Are also the unofficial ones, which we'll talk about in a different
new
podcast.
roads.
But the official ones looked like a very busy border crossing.
Yes.
Every day of the week, nonstop, piles and piles of trucks crossing the border with every kind of goods that you can imagine in the world.
I was there. I saw Mercedes cars being transferred into the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because people need to understand this isn't like, it's not just like rice and meat.
Yeah, so it's very far along now. These safe zones are very, very, very far along now. It's not something that they can dismantle.
Very good economic, gateway to Israel to deliver goods for commerce, and other players can join into this region.
Yeah.
Because if the United Arab Emirates have kind of a port in Gaza, then they have access to this part of the region and to the Mediterranean Sea, and through this to Europe.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of agendas. One is, yes, people always are, or countries are always fighting for power, and power often comes in the shape of a stakehold in a different area, be it in political or financial influence. But I think just objectively and honestly speaking, many people around the world, the Israeli and American government included, are concerned with the well-being of the people of Gaza, and countries.
So we won, right? But we can't. But it's a game.
I think very few people who are of a sound mind, let's put it that way, would say that a reasonable solution to this conflict is allowing Hamas to continue to rule the Gaza Strip in the same way they did before.
Well, I say many people in campuses would think that that's the best thing in the world.
But I said.
So it will be a joint effort, like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and then Israel can pull back, and then they can, and then the actual border will probably, because Israel already has what's called, it already has A, B, and C zones in terms of security. So let me see if I can find it again. I drew a sketch for people, but yeah, so it would just be an extension of the system that's already set up. Yeah, here it is. I showed you guys this, right? I've got so much stuff. I'm going to have to really organize this because it's such a mess right now. My sister saw this and my sister's like, I can't believe you were showing that. That's terrible. Why don't you have something professional done? It's like, it's not my job. I'm not that. My job is just to do a conceptual. But anyway, this is what it looks like. So I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see when I point? This is where the floating port is. Can you guys see that? Up here in the center? Yeah. What do you guys think about all this stuff? Are you as optimistic as I am? I think that this is the solution, as they say. It's interesting also now that they've got the port all the way over there in the distant area, over there in the north central area of this image. I don't know if you guys can even see this. But yeah, I don't know. That's where the port is. Pretty cool. All right, now I'll take it down if I can figure out how to take it down. Not my strong suit. So, do I think that the great drawing? That's pretty funny. But I wrote Oasis Sinai. That's the Rafah port, by the way, and that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid that Israel's going to storm and demand the Oasis Sinai. I'm just a little nobody. I didn't expect, and people have forgotten me, thank God. So, I'm a nobody. They've got the drawings, they've got the Oasis One program, and it's being adopted by rich people. So everybody thinks that it's their fault, which is exactly what I had wanted. So no one's ever going to know that this has anything to do with us, right? And every time I send the proposal to anybody, I say, you don't need to write me back. You just need to get a copy of this, and then you'll be up to date. But don't call me. Don't call me. Don't write. Yeah. But this is what the data shows. I don't have to, because Elon Musk put it through his own computer. And then he went around the world trying to raise money for the rebuild. So I can retire. I don't have to. And then he gave it to all of his powerful business people and CIA, and all those people got copies. And then Gantz gave it to everybody. And then the IDF had a copy, and the Knesset had a copy. And then they are going to modify it, like Netanyahu wanted to do his own version, which is the same as mine, only I think he wanted to permanently occupy Gaza. Then he said, screw that. I'm not going to do the rebuild. I'm just going to leave and abandon Gaza. So you never really know what's going on with Netanyahu these days. You want to go back to St. John? Where is that? Hey, I have a question for you guys. How do you get to the Canary Islands? It seems like the simplest thing in the world, but how the hell do you get there? Do you fly to Spain and then take and if so, where do you go? From Barcelona? Do you take a ferry from Barcelona? Do you take a ferry from, I don't know. Supposedly the Canary Islands are very foo-foo. We're going to the Canary Islands because we've got money and we've arrived. Yes, we're going to the Canary Islands. Yeah, travel to the east is long, and so for that reason, I If you're going, see, I think I want to do an extended trip, like 3 months. I got to get somebody to watch my cat and maybe sublet my apartment or something. You know what I mean? Um, oh, there are ferries. Yeah, gosh, I really want to do this. See, I just feel like I never have any time to travel anymore. I've always got to get back here, get back there. Indonesia. Well, Kay has done some amazing travel. I think Kay's favorite place, if I'm not mistaken, this is my friend Kay. Hi, Kay. I think your favorite place is Cambodia, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then you were thinking of also going to the Dominican Republic, your next trip. Oh, the garden. It's not very safe. You have to go, there's a lot of scary stuff going on in that area. You just got to be, yeah. It's not like a beautiful spring meadow in Wisconsin. I think people grew up seeing those things and they think they're going to go see a beautiful spring meadow in Wisconsin. And instead they go to a sketchy area of the West Bank where drugs are being sold and women have been accosted. You might not want to go. Just more like meditate on it than actually physically go to the place because it's a little sketchy right now. Is there a doctor in the house? I want to go to Bali, but again, we're in the northern hemisphere. We have to go to the southern hemisphere. And so if you're over there, it's like they have to turn around and then come. It's really hard on the body. They say it can take a couple weeks just to recover from going from if we were 20, maybe. So, God, I want to go to Bali. So food in Portugal is good, but it was very rich. I found it very rich. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of people like the Canary Islands. Oh, Dominican Republic. It's scary. Oh, that's too bad. It's so funny. Everyone was saying, "Oh, it's scary. Don't go to Mexico." I went to Mexico City. I was never scared. We walked all over the cantina. Nothing bad happened. And the taxi driver was saying, "What are you talking about? It's safer than New York. You guys read too many movies. This is not, you're talking about like Baja California, some village where there's shootouts and but Mexico City, they've really done a lot to control their crime. It's really high tech. 24 million people. Yeah. Where is it you have to take a shower multiple times a day? Bali or Dominican Republic? Dubai is underwater. Whoa. Well, are you talking about literally or figuratively? Wow. What are you guys most concerned about? When you look at the news and all the things to be frightened of. Let's see. Hurricane season is going to be the worst on record. That's the latest. We can freak out about that. There are always asteroids plummeting to Earth that can take us out, leading to a nuclear winter. And there could be a nuclear winter. We've got mentally ill, crazy people with their fingers on the nukes, right? So we can freak out about that. It will take 72 minutes, right? 72 minutes for us to take ourselves out. So let's see, what else is there? Volcanoes, mega volcanoes which erupt, and then they can also cause a nuclear winter. CO2 levels in the atmosphere that can be released because there's so much CO2 bubbling in the oceans that it's actually causing changes in sea waves. And if massive amounts are released into the atmosphere, we will all be gassed. We will all be gassed by the CO2. CO2 and carbon monoxide. Okay, guns, violence and guns. So, what would be the philosophical way of looking at this? Well, if there's a nuclear war, you'll be dead, so it won't matter. So there you go. You can give up war. Any of these major disasters that are going to kill everybody, number one, you can't control it. And number two, you'll be dead. So there you go. Now you can go back to your garden. You can't control it. And being worried about it isn't going to do anything. Focus on what you control. That's stoicism. Can you get this flower to grow? And do it with, make flowers, make the world a better place. This idea of tikkun olam, right? This idea that we can fix the world together. One positive choice every day. We have the ability to go forward in life, making positive choices, choosing to do good things. And the things that we have no control over, being hysterical about it, it's just, what's the point? In a way, it might be a good death. You're not going to be sucking on oxygen, dying of COPD or something horrible like that. It's just poof, and you're going to be gone. Next thing you know, there's going to be a flash of light, and you're going to be in front of St. Peter. I mean, come on. And we'll have to do this all over again, right? Isn't that the whole theory that, we destroyed the world? Okay, let's redo the program, take the program back to zero, start again. Like there's this idea in Kabbalah that this keeps happening over and over and over again until we get it right. To be happy and to create heaven on earth is getting it right, and to extend the goodness of this world in this dimension, its goodness into the infinite, into the infinite, like a garland. Is that what? There's this Kabbalistic idea. If you look at the Zohar, and if you look at some of the imagery, just think of Princess Diana's garland, right? It was this beautiful bouquet that hung. So when I think of Jewish mysticism, I think of us planting, and it just extends. And that's all we can control, right? Is how far will my bouquet extend into the universe? And it's easy to get, consumed by everything else, right? The future of Hamas. The future of Hamas. Oh, you've been traveling since you're 3? Lucky you. Okay, Hamas. It's about trade and getting their stuff. Trade, travel. They're going to be frozen out. They will have no safe harbor because of the film footage that's been coming out Nobody wants to have anything to do with them. So the more this horrifying imagery comes out, look, United Arab Emirates has a financial interest in get this crap out of here. These crazy images of raped children, the father is weeping, my baby girl. It's like, this is a nightmare for United Arab Emirates and for Saudi Arabia. They're like, get this stuff. Oh my God, they're going to think we're all like this, right? And this is a very delicate time in United Arab Emirates trying to develop strong relations with the West, Starlink. And they're not going to screw this up because there's too much writing on it. So from United Arab Emirates perspective, we got to pull this off. We got to fix this. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching the United Arab Emirates. Commerce, bridges of understanding, right? So travel. So in terms of Hamas, they're trying to get trade, right? They're trying to get bridges. Hey, you support Hamas. You support what we do. You raping those girls, right? It's completely imploding their whole movement, but we're the victims. Everything we do is justified, right? So the issue of trade, their bridge of communication, and then a trip. So if you're trying to, say, get somebody to take in fighters, whether it's Turkey or Algeria, you have to trivialize it. Yes, some of our fighters behaved very badly, or they aren't in our battalion. Those people are with another group, right? You try to trivialize it so that you can keep these relationships open and also get to safe harbor, whether safe harbor is Iran, Algeria, or wherever. This is a safe harbor card, but you can see here they're entering into the time of the polar bear, which means that the deep freeze is coming to Hamas. The more film footage gets leaked to the general public of what they're doing to the women of Gaza. This is the thing I want people to understand when you look at those hostages of those girls. They were doing the same exact thing to the girls of Gaza, taking them down there and doing the same horrible things. You're my wife now. Crazy, psychotic people on drugs. Can you imagine? So these people are not interested in freeing the Gazan women. They're interested in the revolution. What do we have to do to create new children for the revolution, right? So the big freeze is coming, and then the final outcome is the sarcophagus. So they're dead. They're finished. I'd love to go to Algeria. Polar bear and the death card. So they're finished. They don't have the only they can continue to go to Iran to try and get money, but nobody else is going to fund them. So it's like a cultural freeze. What should I have for breakfast, you guys? Pick my breakfast. Oh, I've got some yogurt. I've got some granola, probably granola and yogurt. Doesn't that sound good? You'll send Hamas Reiki healing? I think that they're going to need more than Reiki healing. Porridge and fruit. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Going to probably need some protein. I'll try and find a protein with that. All right, everybody. I'll be back at noon. If you're a member, we can get together and we can do some private blitzes. Oh, you're so sweet. You guys are so nice to me. You guys have been so nice to me. And sometimes I am not nice. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are nice to me. I see your green laser. Oh, the green screen. All right, darlings, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. See you at noon if you're a member. All right. Bye, loves. Bye.